Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a 3 looks 1 palette video using the new Dragon Eye palette from What's Up Beauty. If you missed it, I did recently upload a video with my first impressions of this palette, including some swatches and a look. So I'll have that linked in the description box down below. Today's video is going to be playing around some more with this stunning palette, and I have tried to create 3 unique and very different looks to hopefully demonstrate the versatility of this palette and this color story. So if you would like to see some more looks with the What's Up Beauty Dragon Eye palette, including the look that I have on my eyes today, just keep watching. Alright, so for look number 1, I really want to play with these purples. So I'm going to take the shade Breath on a really fluffy brush just as a nice pinky transition shade. Okay, and then on a slightly smaller blending brush, I'm going to take the lightest purple matte, which is called Spikes. And I'm just going to put that a little bit lower in the crease and also start building out the outer corner. This is a really pretty, like, warm purple shade. It's not too cool, which I love in a purple matte. I'm just going to go back in with my blending brush that we used for that first shade and blend those 2 shades together. And then going back in with my slightly smaller brush, I'm going to take Powerful, which is the deepest purple matte, and just put that right on the outer corner. To really build up some depth there. While I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and do the mattes on the lower lash line as well. So just taking that deepest purple shade right underneath the lower lash line and connecting it to the outer corner. And then I'll go back into Spikes, which is that lighter purple matte, and kind of blend that out. And I'll also take a touch of the coral shade Breath to add that warmth on the lower lash line so it doesn't look too bruisey. Okay, so mattes are done. Now it's time for the shimmers. I'm going to use my NYX glitter primer this time just to try and prevent glitter fallout as much as possible. In the first video where I was trying this palette, I did mention that I was using my fingers with the shimmers, which I'm going to do today again, but there was a little bit of glitter fall down on my cheeks. Not enough to like ruin my entire makeup or anything like that, but I just want to try it with the glitter primer today to see if we can avoid that altogether. So just a really small amount on my fingers, and I'll put this across the entire upper lid. You only need a really, really small amount of this product because if you put too much on, it could have the opposite effect and make your shimmers crease on the eyes. So just take a tiny little bit, and that one bottle will last you forever. Okay, and then I'm going to take Magic on my pointer finger, and I'm going to take Monster on my middle finger. I'm going to put Magic on the inner half of my lid and Monster on the outer half. So just pressing that into the glitter glue before it dries down completely, ideally. And then I'll just take the finger that has Magic on it and I'll blend the 2 in the middle and kind of go back and forth between my 2 fingers there as a really easy way to blend those shades together. I'm just going to take a little bit more Magic and pull it in further toward my inner corner. And I'm also just going to take a little bit of that shade right here on the lower lash line to connect up with those mattes. Probably should use the glitter glue in that area as well to prevent fallout, but I'm just living life on the edge today. And I think for the inner corner, I'm going to take Fly. Even though it doesn't really pull in the purple tones, I think it'll pick up on some of the blue sparkles that are in these other shades and maybe just add a little bit of interest to the inner corner area. It's also just kind of the main inner corner shade in this palette, so I'm just going to take a little on my pinky and press it right in that inner corner. Okay, so this is the first look before mascara. Let me go run and put some mascara on, and I'll be right back to show you the finished look. All right, I am back with mascara on. I used the What's Up Beauty Watch Me mascara for some big, dramatic, voluminous lashes, and I also put some of the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in Alkaline in the waterline just to kind of tie in the purple, and I feel like this makes for a really pretty purpley but very special monochromatic purple look, and it's giving me like fairy princess vibes, which is definitely in keeping with the theme of the palette. These shimmers just continue to blow me away. They are so dynamic in the light. I think it's just going to be a standard purple shimmer, and then you notice that there's actually blue in there and there's some green in there, and I just absolutely love this look and the way that it came together. So that is it for look number one. I will pass you over now for another look with this palette. Okay, so for my next look, I'm going to try to do a halo eye. So I'm actually going to do the same thing I did last time, which is taking the Corally shade Breath through the crease. And by the way, I didn't say in the first look, and it's pretty much the same in every video, but just in case you're new here, I do prime my eyes with the Ulta Beauty Matte Eyeshadow Primer, and then I set my lids with the Pat McGrath Under Eye Blurring Setting Powder, and that will be the same across all of the looks in this video. Hoping for like a warm, kind of sultry halo eye vibe with this look. So starting with this pink in the crease really warms things up. Is it a pink or a coral or a peach? I don't really know. Sort of a combination of all three. Okay, and then to start building my halo, I'm going to take a smaller, kind of denser packing brush, and I'm going to take the shade Creature, which is like that lighter neutral brown, and I'm going to pack that shade on the inner and outer portions of my eye. And then to kind of deepen up that halo, I'm going to go in with the same brush and the shade Smoke, which is the deepest brown in the palette. And I'm just going to start pressing that dark brown shade close to the lash line and sort of on the outer part of the halo shape we already have. And then just start blending that into that lighter brown, just so that the halo has a little bit of dimension to it as well. Just really, really lightly blending those shades together. See the difference? It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to cover over most of it with shimmer anyway, but just to make sure everything's blended. And then while I'm working with the mattes, again, I'll just go ahead and do the lower lash line. So I'm going to start darkest to lightest with the shade Smoke and just mirror what we did on the upper lash line. So that deep shade on the inner and outer portion of the lower lash line as well. This is where that smokiness really starts to come into play. Just don't get it in your eye like I just did. And then dipping back into that lighter brown shade Creature to just blend that out and reserving a little bit of space in the middle for some shimmer. Okay, and so again, I'm going to take a little bit of the NYX glitter primer and I'm just going to put that through the center on the top lid. And the shimmer that we're going to use for this one is the shade Myth, which is like a really pretty rose gold to bronze kind of a flip. I think it'll be really stunning in the center of our halo. Hopefully you can see a little bit of that flipping from pink to gold. Going to carefully press that into the glitter primer. Super pretty. And then with whatever is left on my finger, I'm just going to gently press on either side to help distribute some of those sparkles lightly, but keeping the majority of the intensity right in the center. Okay, same thing on the other eye, a little bit of glitter primer. I'm just going right in with that shade. Tapping over the edges. I'm going to go back in with a little bit more of those two brown matte shades kind of mixed together on my brush and just re-intensify the outer corner and the inner corner just to make sure we haven't lost all of our smokiness and definition. If you want to, you can just go back over that crease area with your blending brush that has a little bit of that first pink shade that we used just to make sure everything is cohesive. And then for the lower lash line, I'm going to take a little bit of glitter primer on a flat brush just to have a little bit more control over the shimmer placement. And I'm just going to put that in the center on the lower lash line. And just picking up a little of that shade right on my brush, carefully pressing it in. I mean, the fact of the matter is with these shimmers, if you're putting them on the lower lash line, I think you're just gonna need to expect fallout. So glitter primer or no glitter primer, if you're putting it on the lower lash line especially, I would just do your eyes before your base makeup so you have a chance to wipe all that glitter up. It sort of comes with the territory of using really flaky glitter shades in the lower lash line area. Sometimes if it's like a metallic, you can kind of get away with doing your base makeup first, even if you're doing the lower lash line with shimmer. But I think for this particular formula, I would do your base makeup first. So just something to note. Although I do think the way it looks like right in here looks kind of cool because it's like glitter tears. I think you could leave it here, but things are looking a little dark for me in the inner corner, so I am going to use that shade Fly again as a brightening inner corner shade. So just back in with my pinky again, and this doesn't really tie in with like the rose gold nature of the look, but I feel like I need some brightening up in that area, and I don't know, it adds a little something. I think that that is an inner corner shade. It just takes every look to the next level because it looks so magical on the eyes. It literally looks like Tinkerbell just sprinkled fairy dust on your inner corners. Love it. I also think you could skip this step, but I just kind of want to try it to see how it looks. I'm going to put a gold kind of bronzy eyeliner in the inner corner. This one is the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in Wildcat. Definitely not necessary, but I feel like it just adds to the overall smokiness and also picks up on the gold that's running through that shimmer shade. So let me go do some mascara and then I'll be back to show you the final look. Okay, we are back with mascara on and this is the completed look. I feel like this would be really great for like a holiday party. It's feeling very festive to me. I feel like a sparkly Christmas ornament. So yeah, another really beautiful look with this palette. I like that you can go a very warm kind of pinky gold, rose gold direction with this palette, as well as the greens and the purples. It just adds to all the different kind of variations of looks you can do with this little compact palette, but it really shows you how far you can stretch this color story, which is amazing. And yeah, that is it for the second look. So let's go try another one out. Okay, so for my final look, I want to try going really dramatic with this palette and going for a fun twist on kind of like a classic smoky eye. So I'm going to go in with the shade Smoke, this deepest brown matte, back on a dense packing brush. This is the Spectrum and KJH 15 brush. And I'm going to start building up a really smoky lid. So I'm just going to start by putting the majority of the pigment right at my lash line. And then as I have less pigment on my brush, just kind of blending up to the crease. And going back in and building that some more until I get it pretty opaque on the lid. And this is going to make a really deep base, obviously, for some of these shimmers to sit on top of, which changes the look of the shimmers a little bit than having them over a bare lid or over a lighter shade, in a way that I think is going to be really cool. It's going to really highlight all of the different shifts. So same thing on the other eye here, just building up the lash line first and then slowly kind of blending up to the crease. Okay, and then while I'm working with this shade and this brush, I'm going to take that along the lower lash line as well, really close to my lashes on the bottom, because we're going to blend this out. I'm not going to go all the way over. I'm going to reserve a little space here just so my eyes don't end up looking too closed off, but tailor to your eye shape and preferences. It's almost got a little bit of a purple undertone to it, this shade. I'm just building up the outer corner a touch while I'm at it before we blend all of this out. So now I'm going to grab a blending brush and I'm going to go with the shade Creature, which is that neutral brown, and just start blending out those edges. In the crease, outer corner, and across the lower lash line as well, just to make this really smoky and blended. Okay, so that's where we are with the eyes. Just got a nice smoky base going. So I'm purposefully not using glitter glue with this look because I don't want the shimmers to be full pigment, because I still want to be able to see the depth underneath. So I'm not going to apply them. I'm not going to apply as much, as thick of a layer as I would, and I'm also not going to use the glitter glue because I want there to be a little bit more space in between the sparkles, if that makes sense. Hopefully when I show you how this look is going to work, that will make more sense. So the two shades that I'm going to be using this go round are Fly, which is the shade I've been using in the inner corner this whole time, and I'm going to pair that with Fire, which is a really pretty like gold to green shift with a warm undertone. So I'm just going to go really pretty lightly with the way that I'm picking up the pigment so that I'm not getting the full opacity. And I'm going to start on the inner corner and just kind of tap this just like that. So see how we're still getting the beautiful shifty colors from this shade, but it's not quite the full opacity that we've seen in some of the other looks, and we can still see the depth through. That's what's going to keep this look looking really smoky. It almost looks like scattered stars on a night sky. That's kind of the vibe that we're going for. Okay, and then with a clean finger, I'm going to dip into the shade Fire. Again, not picking up a ton at a time, and then just lightly tapping that over the outer half of the lid. And I think those shades pair really nicely together because they both have that lime green to them. Fly has a lime green that's a little bit more blue, and Fire is more of like a true lime, but they just work really well together, and I feel like this is going to give such a pretty, almost like wet look effect to this smoky eye. I will totally be doing a daytime version of this look just with the lighter brown kind of all over the lid, but these shimmers still tapped over the top. A little bit less smoky and dramatic for the daytime. I know I will be repeating this kind of look and application technique a lot. It's one of my favorite ways to wear super sparkly, shifty shades, especially when they have a little bit of green to them. So here you could totally put some on the lower lash line. I'm actually not going to do that for this look. I'm just going to keep the shimmer on the top. I think you could also use Fly in the inner corner again. I'm not going to do that this time just because I want to keep this a little bit more toned down and a little bit less kind of ethereal. It's still ethereal, but you know what I mean. So I'm just going to go add mascara and then I'll be right back to show you the final look and finish off this video. All right, so here is the finished version of look number 3. I love the way this came out. I just put on loads of mascara and a brown liner in the waterline. I used the Huda Beauty Creamy Cool in the shade Very Brown, and I feel like it just gave the look a nice smoky vibe and tied everything together. I really love the way that this is just a nice twist on an otherwise neutral, smoky kind of a look. I love a spicy neutral or a neutral with a twist kind of a look for any occasion. So yeah, I feel like this look is a really fun way of pairing some of the neutrals in the palette with some of the fun, more colorful shimmers to create something that's fun but still very wearable and classic. And that is it for this video. So I hope you enjoyed seeing some looks with the What's Up Beauty Dragon Eye palette. Maybe if you purchase the palette, this can give you some inspiration, or if you were still deciding on whether or not to purchase the palette, maybe this video will give you a sense of just how versatile this palette is and the different kinds of looks and color stories that you can create using it. Or maybe you're not planning on getting this palette, but you can take inspiration from this video to put together some looks using similar shades in your collection. At any rate, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Please give it a like if you liked it, and let me know in the comments down below which look was your favorite. Look 1, look 2, or this one, look number 3. I don't know. If I had to choose a favorite, I have to say I'm surprised by how much I love this look. This look feels very me, but I also really love the purples and I love the rose gold halo eye. So yeah, let me know which one was your favorite. Don't forget to subscribe before you go if you'd like to see my next video. And until then, I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.